How's it going? Welcome to the last call with the reunion.
Last call reunion.
And we're going to start today like we start off every episode. As you all know, beer of the day.
Yay!
Beer of the day is a Jack's Abbey House Lager beer. They are from Framingham, Mass. And you guys probably know their backstory better than I do, but
Yeah, we know them very well. We're friends with the whole family. They're doing a great job. I mean, it's a big operation. They've got one of the, they gotta be in the top 5 or 6 now for Massachusetts.
Yeah, I would think so.
when they also have a second company called Springdale, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
But Jack's Abbey is focused strictly on making lagers.
Yes. Right, so lager is a way to make beer, not necessarily a type of beer. You can make a lager IPA, you can make, or a lager LPA, or, yeah. Lagering is basically just how you ferment this stuff. You keep it at a chilled.
You need special tanks.
You need tanks that are jacketed and chilled.
Yeah, they've got like glycol that runs through the tanks the whole time to keep it at a very consistent temperature.
Yeah.
Because the yeast reacts in a certain way when it gets hotter, when it gets colder, and a lot of different beers. We talked about that.
Yeah, so there's a reason why they ferment in caves. You know, if you go back to ancient beer making, the one thing that was always a wild card was your temperature. You pitch the yeast, you ferment or if you can control the temperature, you can control the process, right? So lagering allows for consistency. It allows you to make the beer exactly the same every time because you know exactly what the yeast is going to do with the ingredients. And an ale is more of a like, put everything in and let Mother Nature do its thing. You know? If you have a hot summer or a cold summer, you get different beer. You get different things happening.
One of the things I love about Jack's Abbey is it's really 3 brothers that run the operation together.
Yep.
Jack, I think, was the
And Abby is his wife.
Abby's his wife. You'll notice the spelling on it.
Looks
It's not like
wrong.
the traditional like an Abbey left.
Hold on, they're saying the sound is off. They can't hear us.
Oh.
Oh, you gotta plug it in.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't plug in the tube.
Well, I don't know how to do it.
Just like that.
Ta-da!
We would have been talking
All right, let's start
with
over.
the mic off.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, how's it going? Can you hear us now? Anybody?
So all we've talked about so far is beer. Yeah, they should be able to hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't plug the mic in.
So if the
Well,
mic,
I mean, technically,
Do you
was
hear anything on here when you do it?
you should. Well, they're turned off. They have a power button.
technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But again, that's before the phone. So
You want to stop it, delete, and go over? Start over? Can anyone hear us?
hello, hello.
Just if you're watching, just say, "We can hear you better now," Catherine said.
All right, so we're good.
So okay, thank you, Catherine.
Last call.
Last call. Welcome
So
again.
Let's cut.
I'll be on
us
that
off.
side this time. So all
Put
we
that
did
up
so
there.
far,
What are you talking about?
all we did so far was talk about beer. So we beer of the day,
Yes.
right?
And we're doing a Jack's Abbey House Lager.
Jack's Abbey House Lager.
This beer is, I guess, the run of the mill. They call it a Hellas Lager or Hellas Land beer. This thing is gonna taste like beer. You know, like it's probably the worst way to describe something,
Sessionable.
but just when you think about beer, this is what you're thinking of
Yep.
when you drink this. Give it a shot.
So it's a lager. And the fun thing about
cheers, by the way. We
yeah,
hope you have your
cheers.
drinks
Hope
with
you had
us.
your drinks. Good. So the fun thing about lagers is the brewing process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. All the tanks in the breweries are all glycol
Yes.
lined so that they can all
Exactly,
remain
yeah.
at the same temperature.
Yes.
Because they want they're very specific about how the yeast reacts, and the heat or the temperature really affects that.
Mm-hmm.
So lagering can be challenging.
Yep.
And it's hard because sometimes it takes a lot
Takes a lot
longer
longer.
than average brewing. So that can be a challenge for brewers as they get busier, which I think might have had a lot to do with why they started their second brand, which is called Springdale,
Yep.
where they were able to get a little more experimental and do some things that are a little bit quicker, where they can brew and sell, because they blew up really fast when
Yes.
Jack's Abbey opened.
Yeah.
They started in that little spot in Framingham,
Yep.
where Exhibit A
Where
Brewing
Exhibit A
is now.
yeah.
And
On the
now,
other side of the tracks.
yeah, and then they moved into that Denison building, and it's basically, if you haven't been there, it's like
Massive.
It's like a airplane hangar.
It's massive.
And every time we're in there, more tanks and bigger tanks, and we have a lot of friends that work over there. We're very friendly with the brothers, 3 brothers that run the place. very, very nice guys and very passionate about their brand. And
Yep.
Well, it's a hell of a beer. Extremely drinkable. When we talked about what we were going to do for the food today, I knew that this was the beer we had to have, because if we're going with something as rich and decadent as our Poutine right here, and we kind of had a debate. We didn't know whether we wanted bacon or pulled pork, because those are both options. So we just added both because we can do that. And this thing right here is like, it feels like 2 pounds of like ooey gooey potato and bacon goodness. So
And now we opened with that. That's been on our menu
from day one.
Day one.
It is a phenomenal.
It's incredibly hearty. It's probably one of our less expensive apps as well.
Yes.
So you got the munchies, or you're watching a movie, or you just want something
let's
that's
see if I
like
can get a better picture.
a fulfilling app. This thing you can eat this for 2 days. It's easily a pound plus of French fries.
Poutine. It's as far as I know, poutine is a Canadian dish, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
French Canadian.
So the basically it's French fries with cheese curds and gravy is the traditional,
Yep,
right?
that's it. Little
I'm gonna grab that
scallion.
phone, guys. Excuse me one
Yeah.
second.
Live TV, where the phones are ringing, we can't stop them. So right now, I'm gonna actually just. So what he was saying is a dish of French fries,
Very hearty.
cheese curds, and gravy. That's really all that is.
Right.
And we kind of put our little spin on it. We added some pulled pork, some bacon, and a little bit of scallions on top for presentation. So I'm gonna dig right in.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
And we'll do
I'm
this
gonna
with
take like a
vegetables.
bite
We'll
like
do
that.
this with an egg.
Oh.
Sometimes,
Oh, look at that cheese.
sometimes we have other toppings depending on what we're doing at the restaurant.
Oh, look at that.
I typically always get extra gravy to dip it in on the side.
Oh my God, the gravy is like
When I,
what makes it too.
I really I up until just a couple years ago, I really didn't know. I really hadn't had much experience with poutine. But then a couple friends of mine kidnapped me and took me to Toronto for a weekend to go
You
see
get to try it
David
up
Gilmour. And prior to leaving, Sean made me watch. Anthony Bourdain had a show
Yep.
called like Layover or something.
Yes.
Where he would go and spend
Layover.
like a day in Toronto or in different cities. And one of the things he did in Toronto was
Go
to
try this
try the
poutine?
poutine. So
So
I
you went
basically
to the
wrote
same
down
place?
everything that he did, and we went and tried all these different places, and I fell in love with it.
It's my
Well-
favorite thing to do.
So Toronto
We gotta take a
Airport,
big bite.
YYZ, Rush song by the way, named after the airport.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So Toronto YYZ,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
that's a launching
Like-
spot for Asia. So you can easily, I've been stuck there. You can easily get stuck there for a day, and it's a fun airport, it's a nice airport, but you can get stuck there for a day. So the layover was Anthony traveling between different locations, and he gets stuck in an airport for a day, and he'd go do something.
So cool. The nice thing about this is it's really shareable, obviously. We just keep
Yep.
going. It's really hearty, super filling. That looks like something that I would be happy to like heat up tomorrow morning for breakfast too.
Oh,
yeah.
Right?
I mean, that is so awesome. I love this dish. It's probably like one of my favorite things we have on our menu.
Yeah.
I mean,
Poutine.
how can you go wrong though?
It's a great brunch, breakfast thing. It's a great late night, drink some beer, hangover thing. Super fulfilling, like hearty appetizer, sure.
Well, you can see why I wanted to do this style beer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this style beer complements the poutine.
Yep.
It sure does.
That's a heavy dish right there.
Yep.
So drink something
Nice
a
light
little
beer.
bit light beer. It's this wouldn't be considered a light beer, but it's a lighter ABV for
Yeah, I mean, if you're used
a
to the
lager.
big three, if you like Anheuser-Busch and Miller and Coors, this fits in that
and
category.
you were gonna love this.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of a Heineken a little bit. It might be like a little.
Yeah.
It's got
Sweeter.
it got that same sort of front thing, but it doesn't have that skunky thing that
Exactly.
happens at the end of Heineken. The
Yeah,
green
this is
bottle
like
skunk
yeah.
thing.
This one's definitely
Yeah.
cleaner, sweeter.
It reminds me of Miller more than any of them.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I'll
It's
drink
solid.
more.
Well,
Wow,
I guess me and
thank
you are
you.
the only ones who don't have another drink in front of us.
Yeah,
so,
well, I
you know.
brought one.
Oh, I see.
I brought a martini just
He's smart.
Hendriks.
So it's Saturday, right?
Yes.
Saturday?
Saturday night, tomorrow morning is Mother's Day.
Yes.
Be fun.
All
We're,
day.
we're super excited.
You know what?
We're-
You know how many people called last minute and was like, "Hey, can we, can we
Sneak
put
in
in
an
an order?" And we had to tell them We've told you all week. We begged and pleaded to
More than a
put
week.
in
We
an
started
order.
a week ago.
We still accommodated them,
Just,
but I don't know
just
if it was
1 minute before the show
Yeah.
started, we just
Yeah.
took another
Uh,
order for
but
you
It could have been bad.
procrastinating family members out there.
It could have been bad. I mean, thank God he picked out the stuff that we had a little bit extra of,
Yeah.
and we were able to make it happen.
I
So,
had at least 3
it worked
moms. I had 3 moms call today and order their own Mother's Day.
Oh,
You're slacking, guys. You're slacking.
Slacking. Now they're happy because they don't have to cook and they got
Right.
exactly what they
Sure.
wanted. But,
Exactly.
But I had some moms call today, so.
Fun.
We
And
have a
we
couple-
will. So tomorrow, just so you know, we don't have a ton of extra food, but we are going to do some a la carte. So if you have 1 or 2 of you, you're not a family of 4 plus, we will have some food tomorrow. Call early. We're open at noon, and we'll have some turkey, some prime rib, some stuffed pork tenderloin, and some of the sides.
Yep,
So you can order and still pick up a single meal until it's gone.
exactly. And the other part of that is we're not going to have our regular menu
No, right.
either. So it's just strictly the Mother's Day
Just
menu.
the Mother's Day
Thank you
menu.
for taking that away because I would have literally just been focused on that the whole time. We have a couple comments here. So Buddy Bartlett, a dear friend
Hey,
of
buddy.
ours,
Hey, buddy.
said, I look forward to 8 p.m. every day now. Thanks, guys. Sorry I missed you today, Sargon. Thanks for coming in. I went to Bushel and Peck for lunch. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
So Buddy's up at Bushel and Peck. Also, all of you probably know, but local Grafton guy, a chef, worked at Maddie's, Depot Street as well, I believe.
Yep.
And, talented kid.
And now he's up there at,
now he's
at
up there
Bushel
for
helping
some-
out some
helping out Mike.
local people.
Yep.
And then, my cousin Andrew said the breakfast poutine is unreal.
We put the fried egg on top.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a Friday?
And that with the bacon, that is like,
Yeah.
it's another heavenly dish that we have.
We had that show where we were talking about hangover helper drinks.
Yes.
I feel like a solid michelada
Yes.
with a big bowl of poutine.
Oh.
You'll go home and take a nap, and you'll wake up feeling brand new.
Well, that's like that is a hangover cure right there.
Yeah.
It is.
And I thank God that we're not open till 2 a.m. because that would be a
late night.
Yeah, a late night meal. Like we've been drinking all night. What do we want to eat? Let's eat like a whole thing of
Oh,
poutine.
every culture has that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in America, it's like Taco Bell and White
Yep.
Castle or whatever.
Yep.
In Germany, people go out for sausages. They go out for wurst late at night. Places are open all night long. In Canada, people go out and eat poutine at 2 in the morning. 3 in the
Yeah, it's
morning.
definitely end of the bar night. Like
Yeah.
the bars close, the poutine places have lines out there.
Packed.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But speaking of being hungover and everything
I've never
that
been, I don't know.
everything that goes under that umbrella, COVID has made me a different drinker.
I agree.
And by different, I mean I used to enjoy my vodka sodas. I'd
Now
like
you
to
just
go
do it to
out.
drown your sorrows.
no,
I used to enjoy it.
What I'm saying is, I used to enjoy that because I could go out. It was something that
Very social.
yeah, very social. Exactly. You probably having a meal, carbonation and that, and you have 3 or 4 of the night. You don't feel too guilty. You're happy. With COVID, the nights are a lot earlier. There's no more going out. 8 p.m. comes, this restaurant's closed. So I get to enjoy the drink a little bit more. So I've
Yeah.
thought outside the box about what I like to drink. And
Yeah.
I've gotten into a few things. I mean, I've gone back to the basics with beer.
Me too.
Been drinking way more beer, probably why I'm putting
I
on
know,
all the
right?
pounds. And
Get a little bloated.
drinking a lot of the sours.
You have been drinking sours.
And
Yeah,
you've been
you didn't really. Not that you didn't like sours, but you weren't really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
right.
just, I would always try the beer that comes in. I know what I like, and I
Yeah.
know what the customers like. And
But now you're finding more
Actually,
pleasure out of it.
yeah,
What,
now
uh,
I can drink, 3 or 4 sours, and I'm loving it.
And I
it's
agree too. Like
not doing it just
I
to
think we
taste
mentioned
it.
it yesterday, the day before, but there's different. The drink I've been drinking more often than not is the Negroni, and I don't think I had one in years before this.
Right.
But
Yeah,
some reason I'm drinking
one day I saw him
Made one.
making a drink. What are you doing? What is that? He's
A
like, it's a
Negroni.
Negroni. And I
Yeah.
nodded my head like as if I knew what it was.
Right.
And right now, I'm still not 100% sure what it is.
Well, perfect. I've been, for me, it's been a journey. To be quite honest, I had a little bit different experience than you guys. The first, 15, 20 days of the
You were
lockdown,
literally locked.
I was literally I was self quarantined,
Yeah.
and drinking definitely kept me company.
Yeah.
A along with my girlfriend, of course. And but we found our way through, the aisles of the liquor store, trying to find fun stuff to do. Like trying to find maybe recipes of drinks that I haven't made or things I had heard about and wanted to try. But the one thing that kind of we kept coming back to were some of these, we talked about it the other night, these flavored whiskeys. Like there's some terrible ones.
Yep.
Like undrinkable.
When you say flavored, like what are you talking?
Like cherry flavored or blackberry flavored.
Fireball.
Who's making these?
Skrewball.
Oh, okay.
They're all out.
Well, yeah, there's like
Maple
those,
syrup
but like Red Stag.
they have
is
those
Jim
as well.
Beam, their version of it, or there's a company called Pie Hole, which makes like 4 or 5. They've got like
almost like
it's like
moonshines.
this 50s looking lady on the front holding
Apple
a thing.
cinnamon, apple pie.
There's
So-
one called Bird
Cherry.
Dog, and they're kind of funky looking
How are you
bottles.
drinking these? On the rocks?
On the
or-
rocks. There's really no other way to do it.
They almost are like aperitifs.
Yeah.
Okay.
High alcohol aperitifs. They're sweet.
But
they're
I would say, I can honestly tell you that Pie Hole is the best.
Yeah.
And I tried them all twice.
I'm not,
Screwball's great,
I
but
mean,
it's just Screwball's the peanut butter one,
Yeah.
which is amazing when you,
Yeah.
especially mixed with stuff.
Tastes like peanut
It's a lot to
To
work
drink.
through the day. I can do like one of those.
That's for me. That's a great way to.
You don't keep a handle of Screwball under your.
I dug into my ski equipment and pulled out my flask, and I filled that because we'd go on walks and stuff. And why not? What's the difference?
Carry
Yeah.
a flask,
Just
man.
carry, yeah, like
I would say though, for the Screwball, you're having that at the end of the night, shot of it.
Yeah.
Right after your meal, you're done.
Right, it's
Last drink of the night, or maybe you're mixing it in our peanut butter martini, which we do over here.
I mean, that's a pretty crazy story. The Screwball. I mean,
Yeah.
the Screwball's brand new on the market in
Yeah.
the past
4 or 5
5 months.
Yeah.
And you kind of know the story better than I do, but
So, essentially, what it is it was a. See, I'm gonna screw it up because
Thailand?
I'm on the spot. It's either Thailand or Cambodia.
Grab
A man
Let's not show
who,
us
and
inside.
all the stories, the story of actually how it happened is on the inside of the bottle.
Yeah, on the back.
So on the back of the label, yeah.
So you can read it through. The,
So, but
the
you,
glass.
you have to work your way down the bottle in
Right.
order to read the
He
story.
had to drink it
So-
to know the story. Or Taiwan? I think it was Taiwan. I don't know.
But essentially, this
Asian
man
guy.
had a whiskey that he would make, and it was like an old family recipe that was brought,
Yeah.
many years, and he started making it in California, and just shared it with his friends, and his friends are like, "Oh, you make whiskey? Oh, great, good for you." He's like, "Yeah, it's a peanut butter style," and right away when you hear peanut butter whiskey, you're
Like gross.
yeah, you roll your eyes. You're like, "No, thanks, I'm good." And he said, "No, it's pretty good." And he would try it, and his friends would say to him, "No,
It's
this
so
is really good. Like, no BS. This is good
It's
shit."
really good.
So their friends would tell their friends, and so on and so on. And the thing kind of just blew up. And he finally started mass producing it. And Martignetti in Massachusetts, and I don't know everywhere else where it's getting distributed, really got behind it because they felt like this could be a perfect whiskey that could be in every bar in America. And
We've sold a ton of it.
yeah, we've sold a ton of it, and I know everywhere you go now, you can ask for Skrewball whiskey,
Yeah.
and they'll have it, which is it's crazy how that all worked.
we
But-
should try let's add that to our notes. Let's put it on one of our cocktails we do over the next few days.
Which one? The peanut butter
The peanut
martini.
butter martini
Yeah. Oh
that we
man,
make is fantastic.
that is so good.
So
We need better weather
but
for that.
out of those,
So we're talking
I'm
about
thinking,
COVID cocktails.
yeah, like what are you drinking in
What are
COVID?
you drinking during COVID?
We're not going to drink this today. That's too easy.
No.
We're not going to drink your sour beer because we just had a beer.
And we can't have Jameson on the rocks. Is that a bad
Is
cocktail?
that your other one?
That's,
Yeah.
That's
No,
yeah,
it's
so
actually a
Sargon-
fantastic sip.
Yeah, Sargon's been drinking Jameson on the rocks, and probably not at all before this. I mean, you've had
Very
Jameson, of
little. I
course.
mean, like I would
But-
go through my ups and downs with
Yeah.
my drinking, but
Look,
uh,
I've got this, as we talked about earlier a couple days ago. Sean and I spent some time in Ireland this past summer, and we got to go to Jameson, and we were in the brewery, the Red Doors, and the distillery, and I've always liked Jameson. Like when I lived in Philly, everybody would order what do they call
Car bombs?
it? No, they call it
Which, by the way, you can't order Irish car bombs in Ireland.
No, don't do that. But I forget what they
It's a
call
very
it. I want
American
to say
thing.
they call it a Boilermaker or something.
Boilermaker?
Where you get
Yeah.
a beer and a shot.
Yeah.
Does that
Well,
sound
yeah.
right?
You
And
do.
there was always like a Pabst and a Jameson for like $4.25.
Everywhere
like,
you go?
The little like dive bars around Philly.
Yeah.
So I got used to that because in Massachusetts back then, probably still now I should know this, but you couldn't do
Two drinks.
two
yeah.
drinks. But in Philly, they don't really care what you do, and so you can like be like, I'll take them to go, please. So I kind of just got comfortable with Jameson,
Yep.
but then going to the factory or the distillery and seeing the history of it and how they did it. They're still doing it in the same place they did it. I don't know what the year that started, but
Well, so it started in Dublin, and now they've moved
So-
south. They're now down in Cork area.
Hold on, not to cut you off. Cheryl wants to know why are these guys not wearing masks? So essentially, we live together.
We're in
and
private. This is closed.
So like me and Sean have been together for the last 8 weeks
6, 8
together,
weeks.
and so like when you're at your house, probably don't wear your mask. Like we're basically at our house right now.
And we're not open to the public.
Yeah.
So if you buy food from us, it's in our lobby. Customers don't come in here. So we're here all day, every day, give or take.
Yeah.
And when we go out there, we wear our masks. I have my mask right here. So we do wear our masks when we're anywhere near the public, but we're closed now. Josh has a mask on, even though he's been around a little bit now at this point too. And we're not quite 6 feet, but we're together every day.
Yeah.
You know, you pick your poison. You're home with your family. You're probably not sleeping with a mask on. You're probably not hanging out with your kids with a mask on. But when you go out in public, you have a mask on. Same
Yeah.
thing. This is our family. We're here.
Exactly. So let's not do the Jameson.
Well, yeah, I want to know more about the Negroni.
Yes,
I mean,
I
I
do
know
too.
about it, but it sounds like
Yeah,
you really
I mean,
do.
I really, and he's made 100 of them in front of me, and I still don't really know.
100? How
Well,
many days have we been here? Yeah, so a Negroni is one of these drinks that on paper doesn't sound like it should be good at all, and somehow the sum of its parts blend and work really well. So it's a real easy cocktail because it's equal parts. So it's equal parts gin, in this case Hendriks or whatever, Campari, and sweet vermouth, so red vermouth, which there's only a couple drinks in the world that this is even used in regularly. Manhattan and Negroni. Not a lot of sweet vermouth gets drank in the world. Most by itself, it's pretty vile actually. People don't usually drink it. So, but the Negroni is equal parts of these three drinks. Campari is a liqueur. It's a bitter liqueur. So if you're used to, I mean, every culture has one, like Jägermeister, Campari, Aperol. There's a million of them. They're
Absinthe.
usually absinthe. Yep. So they're highly concentrated herbs, spices, and roots, and some other things. They're usually not. They're not really high alcohol. They're usually somewhere in between. This particular one is only 24%, so it's 12 proof. So it's strong wine, aperitif, but a lot of flavor to the point where by itself, people do drink this. Italians drink this by itself, a little much. So this is it's not a shaken drink. It's a stir drink, but it's done in a mixing glass. So I'll do one, and it's again super simple. To the lip, and then you've got equal parts. So I do 3, 3, and 3 at 3 count. So I take 3 count gin, 1, 2, 3. 3 count of
Drinking something
Campari.
other than Hendrick.
1, 2, 3.
I love seeing him bartend.
I know, right?
This is
3
pretty
count
good.
of
Well,
the
he has it
version.
in him.
1, 2,
I know.
3.
Our grandfather was a bartender. I don't know if we ever
Yes.
told you that.
Really?
Yeah, he was a candy salesman by day. So he drove around he always had like a Lincoln or a Caddy, and his trunk, big giant trunk, just full of candy. And he would go to convenience stores and markets, and well, convenience stores weren't really a thing, but in markets and gas stations.
Sure,
and,
Mom
sure.
and Pops.
and he would
Drugstores.
sell candy.
Yep.
And so if he got a new thing, he'd bring us along, mainly Sean. I was a little too young back then, but he would bring him along and be like, "Hey, Lester's here. You got to try this. The kids love it." And Sean would go, "Yeah, I love it." And the owners would buy it. And, but then on the weekends, he would bartend at the local Elks Club.
Yeah. he was
And it was a private club, so we would go with him.
Yep.
And by the end of the night, he'd be over playing poker, and Sean and I would be bartending.
I would literally,
They'd be like, "Hey, get us Doers and Rocks," and you're, 7, 8 year old.
I have a very vivid memory of my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather would go early,
She was
and then
doers.
my grandmother would bring me over to the Elks Club.
Yep.
We would start out on that side of the bar. Lester would be tending the bar, and Marion and myself would be sitting at the bar. She'd be chain smoking. And at some point, my grandfather would be like, "Hey, you want to come back here?" And he would grab I was too little. I was only this tall. He'd bring a bar stool behind the bar, and I would sit on the bar stool and talk to customers, and he would teach me how to pour drinks, and I would pour drinks.
Yep.
All right, so equal parts of all three: Campari, red vermouth, gin. Any gin's fine. I happen to have Hendriks here. You don't shake it. You want it chilled. You want it diluted. Bar spoon. Stir it. If you listen, you don't hear a lot of clatter going on because it's just moving the ice around. It's not breaking up the ice. So the idea is to chill the ice chill the drink without bruising the ice. You don't want lots of chunks of ice in it, right? So that's it. 10, 15 seconds. It's been sitting in there already. Use it in a regular old-fashioned /
Highball.
rocks glass.
Highball.
Well, no, I feel like highball is
Thinner?
Thinner.
No, because the rocks is going to be the smaller version.
Yeah,
of this.
Yeah.
That's a double rocks, I guess.
double rocks, yeah. And
But I hear you saying highball is definitely.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And then
Screw that up.
strainer over ice. It's got this beautiful, and if you pour it right, it should literally just be the right amount, like that, exactly.
You poured a few of those in your
I
lifetime.
poured a few of them. It's got this great color, awesome. It's got sweet, it's got bitter, it's got spice, and all the aromatics from the gin. When it hits your mouth, you think it's going to be a sweet drink, and then it's not, which I love that. I don't like drinks that start sweet and get sweeter.
Right.
It starts sweet and dries out,
Right.
which is kind of fun. And all you really need to garnish, some people put bitters in it. I don't put bitters in it because I really think that Campari is a bitter liquor to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's garnished with lemon peel, so like an old-fashioned.
That's an orange.
I'm sorry, orange peel. Not colorblind yet. So just a swat. Don't get the white stuff. You want to keep the pith inside. Just want as much of the rind as possible. And two things. You just squeeze it, express the oils over the drink, then take the same peel, rub it around the rim, and then in the drink it goes. And that's it. That's a Negroni.
I need a little straw.
I got one right here.
Oh, actually, I don't want it. I don't want you to touch my straw.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold it up so you can see it.
And then I'll make a couple more so you guys know.
Awesome.
Look at that. It's beautiful color, man. Now, I really hadn't heard of this drink, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I'd heard... There's a whole bunch of drinks that at a certain point when I first started bartending that kind of were popular, and then they faded away. But the Negroni, there was another one called like an Americana,
Yep.
a Sazerac,
Sazerac.
Great drink.
and
Love Sazerac.
those were like early on when I first heard them, back before Google was a thing. You couldn't. People would come into my bar and order it, and I'd be like, "Huh, yeah, sure."
Whatever you want.
And there
There
was
was no Google yet.
there's no Google, but there was the like Bible of drinks. It was called Mr. Boston's Bartender's Guide. It was a red,
Been around for 100 years.
hardbound book that every bar you ever went into had it,
Yep.
and it was like, it was definitely like old school, like. Use the egg whites of 4 eggs
Oh,
to
yeah.
mix into the like.
Oh
and,
my God.
And you'd be reading these things like, but I remember the first time somebody ordered one of these, and it took me a minute to figure out what to do. But then later on in my life, I had the opportunity to spend some time in New Orleans,
Yep.
and down there, the Sazerac
Number
is the
one.
drink
Yes.
of choice down there, and
Or the Hurricane.
or the Hurricane. But if you're going to go for this kind of
6 for
cocktail,
1.
and I
Buy one,
I
get
always
one.
sort of equate them the same. Now, Sazerac is a rye whiskey based drink with
Yes.
absinthe, but something about
It's
the
got
two,
the
they've got the
same
same,
combination.
like it's gonna
Yeah, it's the same idea of a bitter.
sweet and bitter and all those sort of things combined together.
Yeah.
And Sean, I think you got us all beat though with this thing. If this is your COVID
It's my
cocktail,
COVID cocktail.
COVID cocktails. That's the
Honestly,
name of tonight's episode. By
We
the
talked
way.
about this. So the last time I had one of these, we were at Faust in Providence,
Oh, great
which is
place.
gone at this point. It's in the hotel.
No,
it's in the
Faust is
hotel.
still there.
No, they're gone.
Oh, but that little bar's still there.
The bar's still there. It's
The
renamed.
hotel bar, yeah.
The hotel bar, and the what's
Right
the
across
hotel?
from the convention center there. It was called
Yeah, Paul goes there all the time. Hi, Paul.
it's
Where
a
is it?
German
The
hotel.
The hotel is the what the fuck's the name of the hotel? Great hotel, right around the corner
Thank you.
from the convention center,
Yeah.
right down by the water. Just one.
Anyway,
Anyways, but that's the last time I had one. That was 2 years ago.
Well,
And then,
until COVID came.
until COVID, now it's like the new drink.
So I'm gonna wait for you to have yours, Sean. And then, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for sweet,
There's
bitter,
a little
dry.
sweet in front, then it gets real bitter,
Yep.
but then it gets this like cool aftertaste for sure.
Cheers, guys.
Now these
Cheers,
are
everybody.
one of those drinks that they call an aperitif. So this is a drink you want to have before you eat because it makes your
Or
diet.
after.
No, that's a digestif.
Yeah.
So this is an aperitif. It's going to stimulate your appetite.
Huh? That is a very, yeah.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, you get the orange.
It tastes a little bit like, so if you're not familiar, so here's.
By the way,
this
the
is
third sip's the best.
Yeah.
You got to try a few.
The third
Yeah, I
one.
was just gonna say.
You got to try a few. Your mouth will get used to it.
This particular liqueur, until you get used to what it tastes like, the first time you taste it, it only tastes like the white bitter part of a grapefruit.
Right.
Like if you've ever had a really bad sour grapefruit and you just ate the pith, the most bitter, right? This has that in it. This has that. But it turns out it's fruity, it's citrusy, it blends in. Your tongue will numb to it a little bit, and then it starts to become kind of complex.
Yeah, so
It's like hops,
you
right?
get the orange peel because you rub the rim with that,
Yep,
right?
with that.
So you get that right away, and then the sweet right after that,
And then it goes dry.
dry and then bitter.
And
It's
bitter.
it's
bitter.
really a lot going on. I mean, this hits every single one of your taste
Yep.
buds.
And that's what I love about it.
This is not your first year in college cocktail.
No, this is not a beginner's
This
cocktail.
is a big kid's cocktail.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
one you gotta be willing to like let your taste buds explore some outer where no man has gone before. You know. So
Yeah, you really got to enjoy.
Everyone's palate starts sweet, right? I mean, everyone, whether it be wine or booze or beer or whatever, everyone goes with sweet first. And then as your palate develops, you like to have more of the other sour, bitter, umami.
Yeah.
But like, sweet's easy, right? We grew
Yeah.
up, mother's milk is sweet. Like, we just like sweet. Sugar makes sense.
he keeps going back
I know,
for it.
it's addictive. And they get better.
Well, because you know what it is? It leaves your mouth
Like
Just
you're like
bitter,
you're
right?
thirsty.
and dry, and so like you feel like
gotta
you
get
get to
that sweet
sweeten
thing
that up,
again.
and so you want to get that first, and then it just does it over,
Yep.
all over again to you.
It's the drink that keeps on giving.
Oh my goodness.
It's a beautiful color.
Yeah.
It's one of the prettiest colored drinks.
It is great.
It's like a dark, not quite blood red, but a really dark, reddish orange drink.
Well, I'm glad we made this. So
That's my COVID cocktail.
So
Awesome.
we had mentioned yesterday that we were going to have a guest today.
yep.
Unfortunately, some of the technical stuff didn't work out quite the way we thought it
Yeah.
was. So we're going to we think we have a fix for it. So we apologize. But Ricky, if you're out there listening, man, sorry we weren't able to figure out how to get you on tonight, but we will definitely, tomorrow or the next day.
Yep.
We got it. We think we figured out how to do it. You think the three of us could figure this stuff out, but this
I
new.
blame Facebook.
Well, yeah, Facebook is. But first of all, this is fantastic that we can do this, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, and the fact that they added this feature where you can bring in,
Yep.
you
It's
can
just
add
gotta
people.
it has to be perfected
They
a
just
little
haven't.
bit. Yeah.
It's brand new. We're only on day 4 or 5 that
Exactly.
they've released that feature, and it's not quite working the way we think it should. But I think I read today that there's a couple updates happening. So in the next day or so, I think we're going to be fine with it.
So Ricky will have you on soon.
Ricky
Yes.
Duran, we
So
love the guy.
Last thing I want to just bring up again, or just another reminder about tomorrow. Tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
If you still haven't made plans or you still don't know what to do, give us a call. We will have
Will there be some food tomorrow?
individual size entrees
size,
going on.
yeah.
We're not going to have our full menu. It will be the Mother's Day menu.
Yeah.
And if you're a mom out there that's home, just you and your gang, just give us a call. I'd love to get you buy you some dinner tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
again,
know,
and that's a standing offer. Any one of you guys out there, our staff, our fans, our friends, our customers, if you're running into anything weird, let us know.
Yeah.
yeah,
We'd be happy to try to help.
Absolutely.
100% confidential.
yeah.
But stuff's getting
But
weird.
I'd love to get you some Mother's Day
Shit's
food
hitting the
if you're
fan.
sitting home.
Yes.
Yeah, so we get it.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Sean, thank you for this drink. I think I appreciate it. I don't know.
Takes time.
We'll see how it ends up. But everybody, cheers, and
Cheers.
we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day.
Wait, I have one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
if you have any COVID cocktails that you're making at home,
Yeah.
let us know, because I'd like to. I'm like I told you, I'm in an experimental phase right now.
Yeah, let
There's
us
a
know.
there's a lot of aisles in that liquor store across the street.
The
so.
best part about doing this show is honestly the fan interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just love when people are talking to us. I mean, this whole thing started so we don't have to hear each other talk all the time. We can have everybody in with us, drinking with us on a virtual
Exactly.
world. So
All right.
Cheers,
Love you guys.
everybody.
Cheers.
See you.
Stay safe.